Okay, ready?
Yes.
Here we go.
I'm Kat.
And I'm Hayley.
And this is Night Classy.
A tipsy night class teaching the oddities and curiosities you never learned in school.
Where are you taking us on this learning journey, Hayley?
Today's a learning journey. We will be going down a road that will show us a gang of the first of its kind in
Ooh.
London.
Okay.
Going to London.
I expect you to deliver the entire lesson in that accent.
Gotta eat some crumpets.
She's making a face, too, that goes with the accent.
I have to make the face to do the accent. I don't know why. I'm going into my alternate identity.
She's like baring her teeth at me, pretending they're jacked up like British people's teeth.
Okay, you made that generalization. I did not.
It's not a generalization. It's just a fact.
They don't believe in braces.
No, I do.
But they do have health care.
That's true.
So
maybe
really
insurance
wins?
would cover braces for them. I don't know.
It's just not a priority. They
No.
can see beyond the teeth.
Fair enough. I was noticing today that my teeth are moving around. I need to get my permanent retainers swapped out.
You do because they will slip and they will slide and they ain't coming back. If you let them go down that hill, it's going to take some rehabilitation.
I know. Poor Alex's sister Cam had braces and her teeth have moved and now she has to get braces again as an adult.
She's doing braces?
Well, she's doing Invisalign.
Okay. I was going to say that is actually crazy when
a commitment.
Invisalign is an option.
Yeah, but now I think some people like can't get Invisalign because if your teeth are like a certain level of crooked, you need braces.
Yeah, you got to do it the old-fashioned way.
Do you remember how bad those bitches hurt?
You got to put metal down.
Yeah.
Yes, I do.
The worst part was them like cutting up the inside of your mouth, like on the wires.
I would lather mine in the dental wax. I did not give a fuck how gnarly it looked.
It looked gross
It
as
looked
fuck.
nasty.
And then some kids would like eat food with the wax still on and it would get all clogged up.
That makes me want to throw up right now. Oh my God.
Yeah.
Did you have one phase or two phases of braces?
I had one, but part of my phase was that I had to have my mouth rubber banded shut.
So
I
so you
feel
just like could only open it to eat?
Yeah. Well, I had to take the bands off. But I had to like crisscross the bands in front of my teeth. Yeah.
Ew.
It was bad.
You freak.
I know. I was a huge freak.
Oh my God.
Luckily, like when I was at school, I didn't have to have them on, but like at home and when I'd go to sleep, I had to rubber band my mouth closed.
Oh no. You had to learn how to like sleep breathing through your nose only.
Oh yeah. If you have a cold, you're fucked.
You're fucked. You're literally going to die.
Yeah, it was bad.
All
and
for vanity.
my braces, even in the ones in the front, had hooks on them so that I could attach the rubber bands. And those bitches cut up the inside of my mouth. And I had a bad habit of like sucking my lips against them and like pressing my lips into them. And that just made it worse.
Oh my God.
Middle school was hard.
This is middle school. Okay. If it
Yeah.
was like high school, like late high school, I was going to say
No.
there's no mouth hanky panky
I think
going on there.
I think I had them in 9th grade and then they were thankfully gone.
That's lucky. I remember a kid in 2nd grade having like spikes in his mouth to keep his tongue back because he was like, he always pressed his tongue against the front of his teeth and it was making his teeth go up and out. And it was the craziest thing. It was scary. But that was a whole side conversation we went down.
British people are listening to this being like, you are the crazy ones. You're putting some metal spikes in kids' mouths to make
gonna
their
be
teeth straight. What the fuck?
all up in our DMs and be like, it's not pronounced braces. It's pronounced
braces.
braces.
Braces. You gotta make the face.
You have to or else it doesn't sound right.
No, I am teaching you today about a case that kind of reminds me of The Watcher. It is a creepy letter writing case.
I love it. A parallel story. Chat GPT is good at that. If you're like, what's a historical story that's similar to like this, and this?
I've been trying to get on Chat GPT and it says like there's too many people and I'm not allowed.
Wow.
You got in on the
I'm
ground
a lucky
floor.
one.
You are.
Yeah. Because when it signed up, it was like, now this is like all beta. you beta cuck.
Yeah. You're a beta
Wow,
cuck.
that sucks.
And I'm
But
excluded.
you are excluded. Well, I can give you my login.
Okay, thank you.
You're welcome.
I know.
Give
I
you
want to do less work, please.
the deets. Yeah. But sometimes it ends up being more work because it'll give you the same answers and you have to try different prompts. It's a whole thing.
Okay.
But anyway, I have been waiting since yesterday, I think, for a story about our old haunted house. You have some more details from the people currently living there?
Yes. So if you are a longtime listener, you know Hayley and I lived together in a very haunted house. All kinds of shit happened. We would hear like crazy like cracking noises, whistling in our ears.
The smells of an old man.
Yeah, old
not
man
of this
cologne.
time.
Like muffled. Didn't you hear like muffled voices like coming from upstairs? Like someone was listening to a podcast or something.
Oh yeah, we would hear that occasionally.
Yeah, I never heard it, but you did.
Just little things that would make us think either we're haunted or there's somebody living in our crawl space.
Yeah, which is a real possibility because that house had a gnarly crawl space. But anyway, so the story starts out really embarrassing for me. A couple days ago, I get a Facebook message from a random person. It's a message request, and I click on it, and it says, "Hi, I have your social security card and passport. Do you want that back?"
You're like, are you blackmailing me?
Yeah. I was like, yeah, please. Thank you for not stealing my identity. So I guess I left those documents. That's the only thing I left in that house.
And Kat, it has been over a year since
I
we
don't
moved
need
out.
those things. My passport
Like
is
2
expired
years.
anyway, and my and I know my social security number, so I don't need it.
That's not why you need your card. I am constantly, well, now that I'm a Lexapro, I'm not constantly checking if I have those things, but my passport is in a place that I see it every day, as is my social security card.
Well,
So I'm
you're
like,
you're a
got
crazy
it,
person.
Got it. That is so true. But you're on the other side of the crazy spectrum.
What do you mean?
For not
caring? I noticed because I looked for both of them and I couldn't find them, and I was just like, I'm sure they're somewhere.
That's fair. Okay, so at least you noticed.
Yeah.
Where were they?
So in my closet, there was a really high shelf, and that's where I kept. And it's weird that they weren't in there because I have this jewelry box where I put important documents. I don't put jewelry in it. Well, maybe a couple things, but it's my box of important things that I can never lose. And those documents
all in
go
one
in there.
place.
Yep.
No firebox here.
It might be fireproof. It's a pretty hefty
If it's
jewelry
antique,
box.
yeah, it could be.
It's not
It's
antique.
made out of lead.
That bitch is from, you know what? It was
TJ Maxx?
No, it was from when my grandpa had his Storage Wars obsession. So it's from somebody's abandoned storage.
The origins
container.
are a mystery, and that makes it better.
Mm-hmm. So anyway, it was in there, but then it wasn't. It was just left on that top shelf. And so I was like, yeah, I want that back. So I went to the old house. I picked them up. She just left them like under a blanket on the porch, whatever. And then I went home. And then the next day I was in a professional development at work, and I was really bored, and it lasted all day, and I needed something else to do. So I messaged her on Facebook, and
Look
I said,
at you being social.
and I said, hey, I'm so sorry. I know this is really weird, but I have to ask, have you experienced anything paranormal in that house? And she responded immediately. And she was like, oh my God, I almost asked you the same thing yesterday because yes.
It's hard to ignore. If you're like Alec, when we moved in there, because guys, if you don't know, Alec also lived with us. It was like a whole commune, basically, that old house was.
It was a huge house, though.
Yeah, it was a huge house. It wasn't weird. It was like they were roommates.
We all shared a room.
Yeah, we were doing it like the Charlie and the Chocolate Factory grandparents.
Yeah, we shared a bed.
That's goals, honestly.
That will be us when
That
we're old.
it has to be. I mean, there's no way we're gonna be able to like actually have two separate houses and retire and afford all the things. So
No.
we're just gonna dump into one commune apartment house living situation.
Yeah, that works for me. But like Hayley was saying, like as soon as we moved in, we knew this was haunted.
Yes.
It was obvious just from the energy in the air. And she said the same thing. She's like, I knew it like as soon as I set foot in there. And she's great because she also loves the house. Like it's a beautiful old house, and she's taking care of it and painting things and improving it. So that's really nice. She appreciates it even though it's haunted as fuck. And She said, because she sleeps in Alec and I's old room. And I actually never experienced anything besides the whistling in my ear in that room. But she says for the entire first week she was in there, she couldn't sleep because she was so creeped out. And she heard someone like pacing her floor like all the time when she was in that room.
And the floors were creaky.
They were creaky. But she said like it sounded like someone was pacing. And we never had this happen to us, but she says the upstairs doors would slam like on their own. She'd be downstairs and hear the upstairs doors slam. And so she was like really creeped out. So she bought some stuff to do a blessing on the house and like asked whatever was there to leave. And she said after she did that, like things have calmed down a bit, but she still hears like footsteps upstairs. I guess somebody, like one of her friends came to drop something off on the porch and they said that they saw someone inside the living room pacing back and forth when no one was home.
Oh my God.
Yeah. So she was glad to get the confirmation from us that it is haunted. And I was really glad to hear that she has experienced things as well.
It's really interesting that they're different experiences. And it makes me wonder if it's just changing or all of that is going on at all times or at different times and you're just perceptive to different things.
I think so too. But the one thing that we had, because we were swapping experiences back and forth, she smells the cologne all the time, just
Thank
like we did.
God, yes, because that was immediately the cologne was there.
And it's so strong. Like, I know some people might be listening to this thinking like, oh, like maybe some like smells can come from anywhere. It could be anything, but it's like somebody sprayed a cologne in your face when you smell it. Like,
it's like
it is
you're
so strong.
walking through a cloud of it. And my favorite story from there is when that freaking light bulb, not connected to any electricity, lit up when I placed it in a paper bag.
Yeah.
Like that was
creepy.
my first experience just moving in there. Everything was empty in my room and the freaking light bulb lit up.
Wild.
That's nuts. It's haunted as fuck.
Yeah. But anyway,
so
conclusion.
Glad. Yes, confirmed haunted. So now what we need to do is just keep an eye out. We become the watchers. And every time someone new moves into our old house, we message them on Facebook.
You know what? I'm so down.
We should create a Facebook group
for that
haunted
house.
By and then the house.
The address.
I was about to say the address.
Yeah, please don't. I mean, we don't live there anymore, but let's
still
not dox this person.
Dox this person. You're already talking about your social security card just flying around the city of Memphis.
I constantly dox myself, so that's nothing
you do.
new.
You guys almost outed the new place so quick. You may have.
But then I thought it was kind of interesting that the only thing that was left behind in the house was like the only thing that she would contact us for, you know? Because if it was pretty much anything else like that you find in a house you moved in, you'd probably just throw it away.
Just toss it to the side. I have had twice accidentally sent empty boxes to our old house. Because
empty boxes?
Empty boxes because you can sell your app. You can sell your devices back to Apple, and they'll send you an empty box to send it to them. And each time I've done it, I have just done autofill or whatever and didn't check the address. So they multiple times received empty boxes with my name on it.
But anyway, I felt like it was almost like meant to be that I left those things so that me and her could connect and
I think so too.
Corroborate the haunting.
Yeah. Ask her if there's still black mold in the ceiling of my bathroom.
I didn't ask her that, but we did talk about how fucked that landlord company is and about the creepy, dirty, nasty basement and all those good things with that house.
She has charm. She has character.
She's a beautiful house. And she did say that she changed the color of those ugly countertops in the kitchen.
She just decided to do that.
I think she probably painted them. Yeah, she said that she's been like ripping down wallpaper, like changing a bunch of stuff.
Did she buy it?
No, she's renting it. But I mean, the rental company doesn't give a fuck.
They have no idea.
We painted rooms when we were there.
What it looks like.
They don't know. They've never been in there.
Yeah,
probably nobody went in there between the time we rented it and they moved in. I would bet you.
Our current place, Tommy and I are renting. We had maintenance called, and they came in to fix something in my bathroom. And he's like, "I didn't even know this place had this bathroom." I'm like, okay, great. I'm painting it.
Yeah.
Don't tell the people who own the building.
They don't
And for
care.
legal reasons, that's a joke. It has not been printed.
Yeah. But anyway.
Well, that was a great story. That brings me
Thank
a lot
you.
of joy.
Good. I'm glad. And now
Can I add a night classy anecdote?
Yeah.
So my friend Sarah messaged me, and she has a night classy baby on the way.
Yay!
A night
Our
classy
second
baby.
Our second
Our
night
second
classy
night classy baby.
Oh.
That's a fan having a
Twins.
baby.
Oh, it's not the second. There's been more than that. But yes.
Oh, I thought.
I only knew of the other
Yeah.
one.
Well, I'm on Be Real, and there's some people who are listeners, and a lot of them or several of them have
true.
little babies.
That's so true. Yeah.
Well,
We're on
anyway,
multiples now.
Sarah said now that the cat's out of the bag that she's pregnant, I can let you know I started a very niche note of things in night classy episodes, and she sent a screenshot of this notes app, and it says things that almost made me pull over and throw up.
That is so specific. I thought it was gonna be like things that almost made me pull over and pee, you know,
With
'Cause, like you're
laughter.
pregnant and
But
you have to go pee all the time.
Number one was Kat describing the girls who eat baby mice,
Oh, yeah.
which was what, on TikTok?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Number two was the Charles II underbite eating process. Quote, he basically just sucks down livers whole.
Like oysters.
And three was Kuru corpse eating,
Yeah.
which I don't know about because I was in absentia for that episode.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah,
you
for like the
were.
first time ever.
Ever,
First
yeah.
time ever.
Well, I don't have anything gross to talk about today.
Those are all cat
so-
lessons.
Yeah. Sorry, Sarah.
She brings the barfo disgusto.
It's
But
what I
congrats,
do.
Sarah.
Yes, congratulations.
There's more where that comes from.
yes.
Maybe not today, but
And-
surely in the future.
And we will post a poll on Patreon to name your baby. You didn't ask for it, but
Oh my
we're
God.
gonna name it for
Christopher.
you. Spelled phonetically.
Or with a K even. I like a good K.
Yeah,
instead
like
of
a
the
good
C.
Nordic
Yeah.
Christopher.
Christopher.
All right.
Or
well,
Tony.
Boy or girl, that's its name. At least
We've
in our
decided.
hearts.
Yeah. That's what I'm feeling. Well, are we ready?
I think so. We don't have anything to drink tonight because Hayley rudely told me she was bringing wine and then forgot. So we don't
felt
have
like
a breathalyzer
I
to
was going out for a meal on the lawn. I'm packing Tupperware. I'm packing a book. I'm packing the drink vessels. But then I forget the drink. What the hell?
Yeah, seriously, what
What
the hell?
the hell?
Because I had a long ass day and could have used a glass of wine.
You could have used wine. I could have used wine.
Yeah,
Well, we just have to be sober.
I know. And I know we've been rambling for like an hour right now, but I'm going to continue the train and bitch for a second. Work today was great. Like it was nice. We had an open house, but I did presentation after presentation to students and parents from 9 a.m. until I left at 4:30. And now I'm talking more. So I really could have used that wine. And I'm not saying this in a negative way. I loved meeting my students and parents, but I did a lot of talking.
It's a lot. It's socializing kind of in a way where you're like working and you don't have to. But why
Yeah,
don't we
it was just
pause,
the talking
pause
part.
the recording. We have to go get the wine.
No, I'm going to tell you this lesson. I'm first this
You
week,
are
right?
first.
Okay.
I'm listening.
Well, I'm going to talk and then I'm going to be done talking for the rest of the day. I'm not going to say a word.
You're not going to
during
say a
your
word.
lesson.
Just take it all in. Alec
Yeah.
is going to be just fuming in the corner.
Alec can do the commentary if it's that important to him. Just kidding.
Yeah,
I'll
it'll
do
be a
it.
typical episode today.
Oh
Wow,
my God.
shots fired. You'll have comments for this one.
Okay. Well, you'll probably have comments for mine too.
Oh, for sure.
And it's an Ohio case, so you might even know about it.
We know her. OH.
Do you know Circleville,
Io.
Ohio?
Thank you. Yes, the Circleville letters.
Yes.
Nice.
You know it.
Yes.
All right. Well, if you don't know, Circleville is a very small town. It's about 25 miles from Columbus, Ohio. And today it has a population of 14,000 around, give or take. But in 1976, when our story takes place, it was even less than that.
Just a little baby.
a little baby
Just
town.
So small, born today.
Just on her way. And there in that little baby town lived a school bus driver named Mary Gillespie. Is it Gillespie or Gillespie?
Gillespie?
Gillespie. That's what I meant.
C. All of the above.
Gillespie. She was just a regular person. She lived with her husband, Ron, and their children. But things are about to change because it was summertime when she received her first letter. The letter was postmarked from Columbus, but had no return address, and it was addressed to her. It was really weird right off the bat. It was written in all caps, and Alec, I sent you my slides so Hayley could see what the handwriting looks like. It's like this weird blocky handwriting that almost looks like someone is trying to hide their actual handwriting.
Yeah, definitely. They're supposed to make it generic. We would do that in high school. We played this game where it's essentially write in your answers for Cards Against Humanity.
Yeah.
And I'm so type A. Sometimes I'm like, okay, everyone has to write in all caps so that the person judging doesn't select a person like in favoritism based on their handwriting.
I mean, that's a real thing.
Yeah, I'm smart.
So you're smart.
And it sort of looks like Ray Dunn in italics.
Yeah.
It does.
It also kind of looks like if anyone uses Google Slides, like the slide template with the turquoise bar across the bottom. And then it's that font that's in there. I don't know. This is a really specific reference. I'm a Google Slides girly.
Such a great way to describe the image.
Well,
But
if you know Google Slides, you know this
If you know,
font.
you know, yeah.
Uh-huh.
I hate Google Slides templates. They're the bane of my existence.
Yeah, they're not very good.
They're not good for Google.
They could do better.
They need to bring it up into
Like,
2023.
when Canva exists, why are your templates so bad?
Why would I rather use Microsoft One PowerPoint, the very first one, get the like gradient in there before I use Google Slides?
Yeah, PowerPoint.
That's a problem.
PowerPoint absolutely has better templates, but I will never use it.
No,
I need them to be online.
It doesn't talk to. It has to be online. You know it's bad. Google, like you're making me think about cheating on you. I'm not gonna do it.
I need
I'm
a
just
Microsoft Google collab.
Yes,
Like freaking makeup brands. Like when are we gonna get the PowerPoint slides collab?
Why can't they just be friends?
Yeah. We don't have to fight.
Literally
Unite.
every day I cry about capitalism in a different capacity. That's the answer, because capitalism.
The letter claimed to know that Mary was having an affair with the West Falls School District Superintendent, Gordon Massey. So,
Hey,
classic.
How else are you going to make $100K as a bus driver?
So true.
You got to do what you got to do.
Got to get your hands dirty. It warned her to stop the affair or else, and claimed, quote, "I know where you live. I've been observing you and know you have children. This is no joke. Please take it serious." And it was signed the Circleville writer.
Okay, so is it like maybe, and like I know of this case, but I know almost nothing about it.
Good.
So I'm really excited. So at this point I'm thinking, is it the wife of the superintendent? Is it a man or
It's
woman?
a man.
Okay, so maybe like the partner, the wife, whatever. That's what I'm thinking at this point.
Yeah.
Or are they actually having an affair? Do we know?
So we'll find out.
Okay.
When she first got the letters, and different sources say different things for this next part. So she either showed them to her husband right away or hid them and didn't show him. A lot of these sources were really conflicting. I think more information came out about this case recently. So sources that were written a while ago might not have the updated information.
Something happened.
Something happened, but either way, whatever she did when she first got them, he found out. So Ron started getting letters pretty soon after, and Ron, her husband.
Okay.
So he finds out, he gets this letter. It tells Ron, and this is weird, to stop the affair or else.
Control your wife.
And it's like, Ron is the victim of this affair. Like, don't you think if he could stop it, he would without you threatening him?
Is it Ron writing the letters? Perhaps I'm thinking now. Also, that could be a possibility.
Okay.
Stop the affair, like control your wife. I
Yeah.
don't know. Move the family.
Yeah.
Divorce her.
I don't know.
I
It
don't
just
know.
tells him to make sure it stops. And so he confronts Mary, obviously, like, what the fuck? And she insists that she's not having an affair. Like, this is out of left field. She doesn't know like where this is coming from. Maybe it's just a crazy person. Maybe someone's trying to blackmail her. But they agree to just kind of keep these letters to themselves. They don't tell anyone. Like, they don't want people gossiping that she's having an affair. It's a small town, and they just hope the letters stop. They hide them away.
Hey, that's how I deal with my problems too. I'm just going to hope it stops.
I would do the exact same thing. And I know in these kind of stories, the first thing people say is like, why didn't they call the police? I wouldn't call the police. What the fuck are the police going to do?
Honey, we are not calling the police until it's time.
Yeah.
If we if a murder has occurred.
Right. And I mean, yeah,
Otherwise,
if someone is stalking and threatening you, you probably should call the police.
Another good scenario to call the police.
But like, if we're being honest, like, what's like, I personally, I wouldn't, even though I know I should.
If anything, just to document it.
Yeah.
But also
that's
it's
true.
like, the police are the last people I need in my business at this point.
But what if there have been 3 other murders and they haven't released that there were letters involved in the town?
Oh, no, you should call the police. I'm just saying, I see where they're coming from. I'd probably do the same thing they did.
It's creepy. It could also be a prank.
Right. Yeah, it could be.
It's a toss-up.
And these people seem pretty chill about it. Like, and the Watcher letters were creepier, but it seems like the Watcher people like freaked out immediately and like begged the police to intervene. These guys didn't do that. They were just like, let's hope they stop.
With the police, you have to make them think it's their idea. So if you go in there like all
They're like
hysterical,
children.
you have to give them a choice. It's like, do you want a bath before dinner or after dinner? You're going to investigate either way. Do you want to do it with 1 letter or with 3 letters?
There you go.
You can't go in there hysterical.
Yeah.
You have to have your wits about you. Be like, I thought you should know. I thought you might be interested. You might have insight.
Yeah.
That kind of deal.
And they're going to say, cool, and then leave it in a pile on their desk and never look at it.
Presentation matters.
It does.
Yes.
Anyway, still probably go to the police. Like, I don't want anyone to get the wrong idea here.
Don't do it. Don't
Stalking
go to
is
the police.
illegal. Go to the police.
They're scary, though.
So this was their plan. And then another letter shows up. This one's addressed to Mary. It says, Gillespie, you have had 2 weeks. What?
Gillespie, right?
Jesus Christ. You have had 2 weeks and done nothing. Admit the truth and inform the school board. If not, I will broadcast it on CBS, posters, signs, and billboards until the truth comes out.
Okay,
and it's
so
like,
he's a big media guy.
Right. And it's like, sir, do you think CBS is going to care who the superintendent of Buttfuck Nowhere is having an affair with?
I think
probably
not.
fucking not.
Yeah.
But
try that in a small town.
Jesus. But either way, like, he's saying that he's going to tell people about it. So now they're like a little bit worried. I'm like, you guys weren't worried when he said he was going to kill you. You're worried now that he says he's going to put a sign up.
I literally forgot about that. As I'm like, don't go to the police.
Yeah. So now they're kind of looking for some guidance. So Mary and Ron decide to confide in Ron's family. They told Ron's sister Karen and her husband Paul, this is the Freshshore family. They told them about the letters, and together they're just kind of like talking about like who could it possibly be. And the only person that came to Mary's mind was someone named David Longberry. So what?
Longberry. Classic.
Okay. David was a school bus driver like Mary, and I guess one time he had like hit on her, like kind of like made a pass at her or whatever, and she rejected him because she's a married woman who would never have an affair. And so she thought maybe he was angered by that, and the letters were for revenge, which possibly.
Okay, sure.
So Paul offers to write David a threatening letter. And in that letter, he said, like, we know it's you. Stop, essentially.
That's not the right answer, I think. That's quite an assumption.
It's a bold assumption.
It's bold in a bad way.
Right.
And to fight fire with fire, I also don't think is the answer. On like, if you had a picture or video of him writing the letters and then delivering them, then maybe.
Do you
don't want to get the police involved.
Do you think when he sent him a letter, he also came up with a weird font? Like,
yeah,
for his own letter.
And that is how Wendings was born. He's like, I can't fucking read this shit.
At first, it seemed like this actually worked because for a little while, the letters stopped.
So they did do it. They went through with
They sent the letter,
Okay.
yeah.
Okay.
And they're like, cool. Like, it was this guy. Everything stopped. But then things escalated big time. Now these big signs were popping up around town, like along the road, like political signs. But on these signs were claims that Gordon Massey, the superintendent, was having a inappropriate relationship with the couple's 12-year-old daughter, Tracy.
Oh my God.
Yeah. So now they're bringing a minor into these accusations. And
it's like public.
And it's public.
It's out there.
Yeah. And from what I know, maybe there were letters going to the superintendent too, but Mary and Ron were definitely the targets. But then this letter is like pretty bad for the superintendent.
Yeah. It escalated.
But I mean also for the family, obviously, because no one wants their child being broadcasted for something like that.
Were they handwritten signs?
I do not know. I assume so since it was the 70s. They were probably painted.
Yeah, you get to go to a print shop and they're like, "Sir, I can't help you.
I can't print this." Obviously, this enraged Ron. So he spent that morning, he found out about the letters super early and then just like raced his car around town, pulling them all down before Tracy saw them on her way to school.
And that's such an eerie feeling too, because it's like, it's so close. You see it all around town. Someone was just here recently.
Right.
The person in charge of
that
this whole
night,
thing.
I imagine they went up and then someone saw them and called him.
Yeah.
Yeah. Super
okay.
creepy.
Sorry, I have lots of thoughts and comments.
You're free to share. On August 19th, 1977, this is about 1 year after Mary received her first letter, they got a phone call. So the phone rings, Ron picks it up, and Mary isn't able to hear what is said on the other end of the phone. But whatever is said spins Ron into a rage. He is fuming. He runs and grabs his gun and then storms out of the house and tears off in his truck.
Without even talking
talking to Mary.
That's terrifying.
Mm-hmm.
Okay.
So it's assumed the person on the other end of the phone was the letter writer. But Mary's like waiting at the house. She doesn't know what's going on. And then soon after, at an intersection, like right by the family's house, I think like under a mile away, Ron's vehicle is found wrapped around a tree with Ron dead in the car.
Whoa. Oh no. Okay.
Mm-hmm. And then, so they investigate, and Ron had his gun, right?
Yeah.
The investigation finds that Ron's gun had been fired once over the course of that very short, like 1 mile drive.
So maybe he was shooting at someone. It's kind of hard to drive and try and shoot a gun.
That's a possibility. We don't know what he was shooting at. We don't even know where he shot because I don't know that I didn't see anything about the bullet ever being recovered.
Yeah, it could be in somebody's car who drove off.
Yeah, it could be. And then also no shot was reported. So it appears that nobody heard it, which makes me think maybe the gun went off as he crashed and the sound of the crash maybe covered it up.
Yeah.
I have no idea.
That's really bizarre. This keeps getting weirder and weirder.
It's real weird. So Ron's death is officially declared an accident. Car accident. There was a toxicology report run, and it found that he was 1.5 times the legal limit.
Oh, oops.
Which, like,
how was he supposed to know he was going to get a call where he had to go out and hunt down the letter writer?
Right. He didn't know.
He would have waited to chug his 12 pack.
I mean, yeah. Who's to say?
What's a girl to do?
It was weird though that that he was like supposedly drunk because people that knew Ron say he never drank.
Uh-oh.
But I'm like, anyone could be driven to drink if all this shit was happening to them, you know? Like maybe his habits changed. Maybe he pounded a shot of Jackie D in the car as he was raging out. Like,
you need some liquid courage.
Yeah. The police didn't have anything else to suggest, though, that it wasn't an accident other than people's word that he wouldn't drive drunk. They did have one person of interest who was never publicly identified, but they passed a polygraph test. So,
well, if they pass the poly, then it's all Gucci.
Right.
Scientific evidence cleared.
Obvious. A lot of people in town, though, suspected foul play. Like, there's all these rumors soaring around, and they really gain momentum.
I suspect foul play.
Mm-hmm.
I don't know how. I don't know why. But I know it's true.
Too weird. Yeah. And I mean, if you are like in a blind rage and speeding around, like you could definitely crash your car and die. Like maybe it was an accident. I don't know. The gun thing is just weird.
Just another layer of icing on this weird cake.
Yes.
You know, it's just a little too coincidental.
I agree. And it gets weirder because as these rumors are flying around, residents around town begin receiving letters from the Circleville writer. These letters claim that the detective on the case, Detective Radcliffe, was orchestrating a cover-up on Ron's actual cause of death. And like these letters basically demanded that the town like force this case to be reopened.
Okay.
And that might be weird because you might think, well, the letter writer, if anyone's responsible, that's who's responsible. Why do they want this case reopened? Well, the letters are claiming that Mary and Gordon Massey are responsible for killing him. And they planned this murder.
And Gordon is the superintendent?
Yes.
Oh, okay. Why does the letter writer care so much?
That's a great question.
Yeah, that's the pinnacle of this whole story, right?
Yeah, and I don't know that we'll ever find out.
Dude, mind your business.
What if it's just some kid that she busted for like chewing gum on her bus? And
sometimes bus drivers are very mean. I get it's a very serious job that you have to take.
It is.
The responsibility of the lives of all of these kids. So I get why they can be snippy.
And kids make a mess of your bus. I'd be mean too if I were a bus driver. If I had to clean like Taki crumbs and chewed gum off my bus every day, I'd be pissed too.
We had raccoons who would come into the buses because all you had to do, like you could just pull the doors open. So
and
there
raccoons
were like some
would open it?
Yeah, raccoons would open it.
What the fuck?
Or like if you're a bus driver and a kid falls asleep on the bus, you're not checking every stop that every kid who's supposed to get off is getting off.
Yeah.
You get all the way back to the bus yard and there's a kid fucking asleep on your bus.
That happened to me once.
It happens so often. I couldn't handle that. I could barely handle staying after school for like conferences, things that are like a part of my job, let alone a rogue child.
Yeah.
You saying it was a kid made me think, like, what if you heard the other side of the phone call and it was like a kid and he's like, is Seymour there? And he's like, who? And he's like, Seymour Butts. And the guy like gets into a rage and wraps himself around a car. Yeah, you motherfucker.
This is the last time.
Grabs the gun. Yeah.
That's like an I think you should leave bit.
Yes, it is.
Anyway, so now poor Mary and her family, like not only are they going through this stalking, these threats, now her husband is dead, she's grieving, and there's all this small town drama and rumors. Meanwhile, Ron's sister Karen and her husband Paul file for divorce, and Karen moves into a trailer on Mary's property. Also during this time, Mary keeps receiving letters. Like the letters have not stopped this entire time. She's getting one every now and then.
Get a scrapbook. Take pictures of like what was going on in your life when you got this letter.
Yeah, take a selfie every time you get a letter and it'll be like a little time lapse.
Yeah, a little like time capsule. Get some cute stickers, like mystery, like detective stickers.
Yeah, it's like one of those subscription boxes, like the solve the case ones, but it's your own life.
You're creating your own subscription box. You're going to be able to sell it.
I mean, everyone in town is so nosy. She could probably sell this shit to them.
She
They all want to
would
know
be
her business.
Freaking millions. Billions. She could be the first trillionaire. Trillionairess.
There you go. The letters continued to be vulgar and threatening, and Mary ended up cracking under the pressure and admitting that she and Superintendent Gordon were having an affair.
Obviously.
But the weird part is she said the affair only started after she got the first letter. What? It makes no sense.
She's like, you know what?
Yeah.
He is kind of cute.
Yeah, it just gave her the idea.
If my life is about to go on a downward spiral anyway,
if you're going to accuse me, I may as
well.
well do the thing.
Oh, no. Did she have braces, though?
I don't know. So I don't know if that's true or not. It sounds not true to me, but if you're going to admit to it, like, why lie about the timeline?
Sounds like a defense mechanism to me.
Yeah, I don't know. Anyway, the letters kept coming for years.
Did the affair continue?
I don't know.
Did they get hitched?
I was really disappointed with the lack of information about the superintendent. Like, it seems like he never weighed in.
Release the subscription box.
And also, no, like, I don't think they were ever an official couple. I think she just admitted the affair happened. Later on February 7th, 1983, so this is a long time later.
Gracious.
Mary is driving her school bus and notices a sign on the side of the road making a threat against her daughter.
Oh, no.
So she pulls the bus over and gets out. She's going to take the sign down. And she goes up to it and notices that it's kind of weird. So there's like a post holding the sign up. And then attached to the post is a string that runs into a small box. And so she's like, what the fuck is this? She just grabs all of it and throws it in her bus and finishes her work and goes home.
Is it a booby trap?
Well, later that night, she's like, okay, what is this? She starts taking it apart. She opens the box. And inside the box, do you want to guess what's inside the box?
A dead rat.
Alec, do you want to make a guess?
Oh, man. I was thinking booby trap as well, like it's some kind of bomb.
You're pretty close. In the box is a pistol. And the pistol is attached to the string, which was attached to the post.
Oh.
So it seemed like the plan was she was going to tear the sign down, and that would pull on the string, which would fire the gun and shoot her.
Wow.
That seems like a really far-fetched plan.
Yeah, it's like a cartoon plan.
It's a cartoon plan. It's not going to work, but it gets the point across.
Right. Even if it doesn't hit her, if a gun goes off unexpectedly right by you, that's really
It
scary.
translates.
That's trauma.
Message received.
Uh-huh. So now with this gun and booby trap, it's no longer like stalking and a harassment. This is an attempted murder. At least that's what it seems like.
She leveled up.
So she calls the police. They examine the gun and find that someone had tried to file off the serial number from the gun.
Can't do it. We can just use the acid to bring it down and still see the serial numbers or however they do it.
That must have been what they did because whatever happened, they could still see this serial number.
I thought you meant use like they take acid and they can somehow hallucinate and see it.
Maybe that too.
We got acid. We can see it.
Oh, you think you're tricky? Well, you're not.
The police enter the serial number into the system and they find the gun belongs to someone.
Someone we know.
Someone
Her
we
sister.
know. One of the characters so far. You guessed the sister?
I guess the sister.
Okay,
She's
Alec.
jealous. She's got to get some of that gourd. That's his
okay.
name, right? Gordon Massey.
The superintendent. Okay. Alec, what do you think?
Does it belong to her daughter?
The gun?
Is it
Does
her
it belong to
daughter?
her
A
child's
child?
daughter?
I don't know how old she is at this point.
No, it
Well,
does
you
not.
should.
It belonged to Paul Fresher, Mary's former brother-in-law, so Karen's ex-husband.
Did the sister know and find out that he was like a hitman and then divorced him but didn't tell her sister?
I don't think so. So Paul is arrested. he staunchly claims he's innocent. He says the gun was stolen from him a while ago. He's not sure like how it ended up on the crime scene, but he's not responsible.
Did he report his gun stolen?
No.
That is
Which,
a perfect
like,
scenario to call the police.
This is if your gun gets stolen, you call the police because of this shit. Because people who steal guns don't use them for legal purposes.
Yep,
Like that shit's going to come back to you. So he didn't report it. Big mistake if it's true that it was stolen. He gets out of jail on a $50,000 bond, and he goes straight from jail to a mental health center. He asks for an evaluation. It's not super clear why he does this. We think he was trying to make an insanity plea. Evidence is stacking up against him, but he drops that plan. I don't really know what came of it.
I think it's a good plan.
Go
take your Minty B.
Yeah.
Go get some group therapy. I mean, everything you've been through to begin with.
Right. Even if you're innocent,
traumatic.
you could probably still use some therapy.
Yeah. Everyone could.
So meanwhile, the police are gathering evidence against Paul. A former coworker of Paul's at the Anheuser-Busch plant testified that Paul had purchased the gun from him for $35. And they found out that Paul had taken the day off work on February 7th, the day that Mary found the sign.
No reason.
Right.
No reason.
He just needed a mental health day.
An alibi? Who was I with?
Apparently he did have an alibi that checked out. I'm not sure what it was, but he still took the day off. Like, it still looks pretty sus.
It was a special day for him. You're not going to have an alibi.
He got Starbucks. He went to TJ Maxx, and then he went to Target. He had a cake pop and a Frappuccino. Then he drove through Taco Bell, went home, used the bath salts and candles he bought at Target and TJ Maxx. Had himself a relaxing time.
His foot, what is it called? A foot mask, you know?
I did one of those the other day.
They're so good.
They are.
It's kind of gross how dry my feet feel going into the bag, you know? But then when they come out, it just like slips out. You know? It's just
it dries them out. Are you talking about the peel?
No, not the peel. I'm talking like the sock bags that make your feet really, really soft.
Oh, I did one of the sock bags that make your feet really, really dry, so all the dead skin peels off.
Oh, okay. So we're on two different ends of the foot spectrum. Yeah, the spectacle. Well, I'll have to come over to your side. It sounds nice, and then I can replenish it with the wet one.
Yeah, you do dry then wet.
It's all balance.
Right. The yin and the yang.
First we do the dry, then we do the wet, and everyone's happy. And there's feet. Some of you freaks are into feet.
The police have him take a handwriting test. And this handwriting test has been criticized because what they asked him to do, they gave him one of the letters and they're like, okay, show us how you copy this. And then we'll see how closely it resembles it.
That's the dumbest thing I've ever heard.
Yeah.
It's like, okay, do you want to lie or no? Okay, you do? Okay, so just don't do it good.
Just do a bad job, yeah. Apparently, like, I don't know what happened because they say it's a match. And Fresher is convicted of attempted murder and sentenced to 25 years in prison.
He got convicted based off of a handwriting test.
The handwriting test, the taking the day off work, the gun, mostly the gun.
The gun is pretty damning.
The gun.
But he had a special day. The day off. What can we really say?
Day. Yeah.
Well, we've all been there.
So we all get accused of attempted murder and lose our guns every now and then.
I mean, hey, if you believe in multiple lifetimes, probably true.
Yeah.
Over the course of humanity, probably.
There's infinite possibilities. In total, he'd sent 494 letters and postcards to the Gillespies and other town residents, and an overall total of 1,000 letters. Some contained arsenic, and he sent these. He sent these letters all around Southern Ohio.
For why? Southern Ohio? All over?
All
Just
over.
like to spread the news of the affair?
I don't know. Like, most of the letters went to the town, but like he was also just sending like random fucking letters.
Hear ye, hear ye.
Yeah.
Mary Gillespie is a hoe.
So
I don't actually think that, by the way.
So he sent all those things. Or did he? Dun, dun,
Who is
dun.
he? Are you talking about Paul or the letter
Paul.
writer? Okay.
Paul is the letter writer. Well, he was convicted.
I don't think he's the letter writer.
Okay, well, you're
I
not.
think it's her sister.
I don't know about the sister, but you're not alone in thinking it's not him. Because what happens next is, even though he's in jail, nowhere near Columbus, Ohio, letters keep coming, postmarked from Columbus, Ohio, from the Circleville letter writer, and they're showing up in Circleville residents' mailboxes.
There you go. There you freaking go. It's not Paul.
Mm-hmm. And now even the wardens at the prison are like, "This, we should let this guy out because there's literally no way he could be sending these letters."
Yeah, the only thing he's guilty of is having a special little day and being a Maxinista.
The weird thing, though, is that his fingerprints were found on some of these letters that couldn't have been sent by him. So what that makes me think is maybe he wrote these letters and someone else is sending them, or someone else has like a way to get his fingerprints on them. I don't know.
Yeah, okay. Well, that throws a wrench in it.
Yeah.
And the sister is divorced, so they're probably not talking. It's not like she
Yeah, I
would
don't
be
think
going to
so.
visit him, have their little, what's sex in prison called?
Conjugal visit.
Conjugal visits.
Yeah. I don't think there's any conjugal visits happening for Paul. But Paul even received a strange letter delivered to him at the prison. The letter read, "Now when are you going to believe you aren't going to get out of there? I told you 2 years ago, when we set them up, they stay up. Don't you listen at all?"
As Cardi B once said, if it's up, then it's up, then it's up, then it's stuck.
What this makes me think is that, like, he was working with someone and then pissed them off and they framed him.
It sounds like he got framed, but how are his fingerprints getting on the letters?
Well, maybe those are letters he had written prior, and then this person, whoever's
Just
in it
keeps
with him, just keeps sending
writing them.
I don't know. In 1994, so I think he served 7 years in jail, and then he gets released on parole. He maintained the entire time that he's innocent, and that might be true. A lot of people don't think he did it, or at least think he didn't do it alone, because it's really hard to come up with a motive for him to send these letters. Like,
He just likes drama.
Maybe-
It's just what he lives for.
yeah,
He's a little pot stir.
maybe
what are you
he
gonna
was
do?
trying to make a TikTok series and it went horribly wrong.
He had a great idea for the subscription box, and they all put him down. They're like, "Boo, that's a terrible idea." And he's like, "You'll see." Sometimes you have to learn through experience.
Some people think he was maybe trying to help Karen's brother out by like trying to end this affair. Like maybe he knew Karen wanted to divorce him and he was trying to like get in her good graces by doing something nice for her brother. But then like he was also like sending weird threatening letters about her brother and her brother's daughter. So like I don't know how
Karen
that
is
would
the
work.
sister.
Yeah.
Okay.
And then it was reported in the divorce filing by Karen that Paul was physically abusive to her, which I don't know if that's true. I mean, believe women, but also Paul was awarded custody of the kids. So if that was the case, it doesn't sound like the judge believed it. But if he was abusive, maybe Karen framed him as revenge. Maybe.
Okay.
And it's also reported to the police that the day Mary found the trap, there was a suspicious person standing nearby who was not Paul. And this person was like pretending to pee. Like he was like posed and like holding himself like he was peeing, but he wasn't peeing. Like
Maybe he has kidney stones. You know, sometimes it can be tough.
Or a UTI.
yeah.
Yeah. But it seemed like this person was just like trying to look busy and eavesdrop, but they were never identified. We don't know what really came of it. And the police are really criticized for this because it doesn't sound like they followed up on this lead.
Yeah, it would be kind of tough too unless there were security cameras around though too. One thing I just thought of is it would be easy if it was the sister, for example, to get Paul's fingerprints on pieces of paper and then write the letters. You know, it
You're
doesn't
really
have to
into
be.
this sister theory.
I am. I don't know why.
I can see it.
Because it would just be such a betrayal. I'm here to stoke the fire.
Yeah.
How do you get people's fingerprints?
Make them touch things. I don't know.
Yeah.
Or
Just be like,
use tape on their fingers and then stick the tape on something. I don't know.
yeah. Just be like, look at this paper. Look at this piece of paper. Do you think
Or
this
while
is
he's
the same color?
sleeping.
Oh,
Touch
yeah.
it on
He's
his
a deep
hands.
sleeper.
Yeah.
Get him to drink a bunch and just freaking
Touch
prank
all the
him.
paper.
He got pranked.
In 1993, the show Unsolved Mysteries filmed an episode on the Circleville writer. And while they were, or like right before or during production of this episode, they received a creepy letter.
Oop.
It said, quote, "Forget Circleville, Ohio. Do nothing to hurt Sheriff Radcliffe. If you come to Ohio, you El Sickos will pay." And it was signed the Circleville writer.
Okay, so he's leaning in. He's keeping up with the news.
If you're doing this, you fucking love the attention that you're getting.
Yeah, he's being a creeper. Maybe he needs to call CBS because apparently he has fucking connections there and get them to put the kibosh on it.
Yeah.
I'm guessing
knows?
they went through with the program.
They filmed the show. They were not deterred. And this is one of the letters that was sent while Paul was still in jail. So it wasn't from him. Paul died in 2012, but people's obsession with the case did not die with him. In 2021, 48 Hours did an episode on the case. And in that episode, they interviewed FBI profiler Mary Ellen O'Toole. And she says, according to her expertise, she does not believe Paul is guilty because he does not match the profile that she built from the letters. So the letters paint a picture of this controlling, vindictive, like maniac. And according to everyone who knew Paul, that was not the case, which I'm like, but also he was accused of domestic violence. So like, who's really to say?
Yeah, you can really hide your true self. I'm a big believer in the profilers. I feel like you can't hide if you are a really violent person. You can't hide it for that long. I think it's something like around 3 months their facade tends to break.
Interesting. So yeah, who knows? And then they also interviewed forensic document expert Beverly East, and she pointed out that Paul's handwritten G's and the G's in the letters like both look like 6s. So there's an interesting similarity. So she thinks he did it. But who knows? I think that if he was involved, I do think he was involved, but I think he was working with somebody else.
So we still don't know?
We don't know.
Oh my God. I thought you were going to be like, and then, you reveal something.
That's the end. I mean, according to the official record, it's him.
Wow. And so he was out on parole and then he died.
Yeah.
Have any more letters come?
No, I think once he
When
was
was the
out,
last?
I think they stopped coming. I don't know, though. Yeah.
What do you think? So you think he was involved with somebody
I think
else
he was
doing
involved, but
For
I don't
why?
know why. Yeah. And I'd like to know more about this superintendent guy. Like, maybe,
Yeah, he's been awfully quiet.
Yeah, I don't know. It's a mystery.
Very, very weird. Well, you told that story incredibly.
Thank you.
You're welcome.
Thank you. But yeah, that is my lesson, and we will BRB.
Dang, I really thought you were about to go for and next week we'll do part 2 and find out.
I wish.
Okay, well, we'll be right back.
Okay.
Hey guys, so I know that some of us are on Threads, the new Instagram thing, but some of us are still over on Facebook. And one of my favorite pages on Facebook is for our night classmates.
We have had a few new members join our Facebook page, and we are so excited to have them, and we are always looking for more. If you like funny memes, if you want to suggest episode topics, if you have questions for us or other Night Classy listeners, if you want to elaborate on one of our lessons, this Facebook page is the place to do it.
If you want to lurk, Lurking is also acceptable. Just
Lurk
saying.
away.
Lurk away.
If you want to post pictures of your pets or see the pictures we post of our pets,
We need pet pics every day.
post all your pet pics. Like that. This is the place to do it.
Here's what I want. I want pet pics. I want cute outfits of the day. I want Twilight memes. I want garden pictures, if anyone gardens.
I want erotic Twilight Harry Potter fan fiction crossovers. That's what I want.
We want to know you on a personal level, and it starts with Facebook.
So get yourself over to Night Classmates. That is the name of our listeners' Facebook page. There's also like a regular Night Classy Facebook page. Night Classmates is the Facebook group where you can make your posts. So join both, but we would love to see you in our
Facebook.
Facebook. Night Classmates is the name I wanted to say.
Okay, that's all.
Yep.
Love you.
Bye.
Bye. Welcome back. I told you we'd be back.
I'm here.
Here we are.
I've been back.
You never left.
No. Stayed in my seat.
did.
I did
I'm
take my
back.
headphones off.
Yeah, you gotta let the ears breathe.
Yeah.
Did you retuck your earrings?
I did. Otherwise, they stabbed me.
Life is nothing without a good tuck. I don't care if it's like, if you ever do like the sweaty boob tuck, if you have like a t-shirt on. I don't know if you tuck.
I don't do the sweaty boob tuck, but I love a good French tuck
What's a French tuck?
where you tuck the front of your shirts into your pant.
French tuck is so good.
Yeah.
And if you guys are listening, I know there's got to be some sweaty boob tuckers out there.
Yeah.
You've got to know what I'm talking about.
I
Somebody
feel like
out there.
I know what you're I now that I think about it, I know what you're talking about. I was just picturing the thing where you tuck your shirt into your bra like to make it a crop top.
That
And I was like,
too.
I didn't know we're calling that a sweaty boob tuck now. But
No.
now that I think about it, I know what you're saying. Like to get your skin off
To
the skin.
separate your skin from skin.
Yes, I've
it's-
definitely done
It's
that.
like I am wet in places that are, this is not a good situation. This is danger zone. I need to tuck my shirt in between the folds.
Yeah, it's a
of my
sensory
boobs.
issue.
Yes. Well, anyway, enough about tucks. Today we are going back to the late 19th century, which marked the emergence of a gang called the 40 Elephants. And they were based in London, England. The 40 Elephants, though, were first mentioned in a newspaper as early as 1873, but some police records suggest that they may have been around since the late 1700s. And this is not your like Peaky Blinders like gang like you think of it.
They're not like a cutesy gang.
Well, they are very cute.
Okay, I guess I've never seen Peaky Blinders. I just picture it. I don't know what happens in that show.
Cillian Murphy is so fucking hot in Peaky Blinders.
I've heard.
Oh gosh,
Never watched.
And then we
never
saw
will.
Did you like Oppenheimer?
So good.
I know. I
Yes.
loved it. I'm trying to get Kat to see it now.
Oh yeah.
If I see Oppenheimer before Barbie, I'll be a traitor to my gender. I have to see Barbie first.
well, double feature.
Okay.
No, that
That's
would be
too much.
terrible. It'd be way too much. I want to go see Barbie too.
Yeah.
Let's go see Barbie.
Eventually.
Eventually.
We're going to have a busy
What do you
weekend.
mean? What are you doing this weekend?
We have to record Patreon.
I wanted to watch Barbie 5 times.
Me too.
Okay, well, we'll talk about that later. But Oppenheimer, yes, very good. I left accidentally at a pivotal moment. I thought all of the excitement was over, and then more things happened. So I would see it again
You just left?
to go use the restroom.
Oh, okay. I was
She
like,
walked
we
out.
watch movies very differently.
I can only handle so much. I like a tight hour 20. So I'm going to have to see Oppenheimer in 3 parts. 3 different showings. Okay, well, anyway, the 40 Elephants are cute because it's an all-female gang.
Ooh.
No men allowed.
Okay.
And they were born from wanting to get away from men and making their own money.
All right.
Before 40 Elephants, there was the male-dominated Elephant and Castle mob, and this is named after the district in London that they lived and operated in. Apparently that gang, the male gang, had became known for their distinct elephant-like waddle.
What the fuck?
I have no idea what that means, but
That's
it felt
so
important.
embarrassing.
It was after they left the scene of a robbery.
They waddled out.
I think maybe they just had maybe they put their goods
in their pants.
in their pants.
What the fuck?
I have no clue.
That is if you're trying to be an intimidating gang, and then
there should be no mention
you're
of waddling
around. Yeah.
Waddling is for pregnant women and ducks.
Yes.
Sorry. It's not for mobsters. Maybe Tony Soprano. I could see him waddling.
he can waddle and still
can
be
waddle.
intimidating.
Yeah, you have to have a certain energy about you. You have to have a certain air, a certain aura.
Yeah, you got to confidently waddle.
Yes.
But that's like swaggering around, I feel like. Is that what?
Maybe waddle meant something different back
Maybe.
then. Context is important. It is
True.
the 1800s, so he had a waddle about him. I could see it. Anyway, it seemed like I should include that. But the mobsters would sometimes bring women into their heist. I'm like, as long as they weren't on their time of the month.
As long as they didn't get hysterical.
Yeah, with no crazy talk, okay? We will commit you. But the Victorian era, or let me go back here. The women's roles were so small within that mob, so their earnings were small. So they would pay them, but it was just such a small percentage. So the women wanted to do their own thing. A lot of them were experiencing poverty if they wouldn't have created their own gang. And
Most gang members would.
Yes, absolutely.
Yeah.
Yes, ma'am. And it's the Victorian era, industrialization. It's not going to be kind to workers. And you can't simply pull yourself up by your bootstraps, believe it or not.
Women don't have bootstraps.
Women don't have bootstraps. They don't have voting rights. They don't even have shoes, really. They're just walking around barefoot.
Naked and pregnant, baby.
Naked and afraid. Waddling and pregnant, naked. You're in a gang. Everything is scary to be a woman.
Everything is scary, period. Late 1800s.
No
Britain,
explanation needed.
Everyone's
Yeah.
just covered in coal dust. They're living in tenement apartments with 20 people to a room.
Yeah.
No bathroom.
Your child starts working when they can start walking.
Yeah. Not a good time for anybody, I don't think.
talks like this.
And their teeth were even worse back then.
We don't have teeth. The women took their well-being into their own hands and banded together to create 40 elephants. Sounds better than one elephant. I don't know. But this is London's first women's only gang of criminals. So their first leader, often referred to as their queen, was Molly Polly Carr. 40 elephants instantly broke out of the gates and gained notoriety under her leadership, but it was under the reign of her successor, Alice Diamond, that
Amazing names.
Just they were meant for this story.
Alice Diamond is like a romance novel pen name.
I don't know what her actual original name is, but she got the last name Diamond because she wore diamond rings on each of her fingers for fighting.
That is the coolest thing I've ever heard in my life.
Let me show you a fucking picture of her. I would not mess with her. I want to be her. Maybe not commit crimes.
Is that her?
That's her.
She's gorgeous.
She is everything.
She looks like Betty Boop.
She is Betty Boop. She was the inspiration for Betty Boop.
Really?
I probably not.
She looks
but
just like her.
Could be.
Yeah.
She has that energy, and she's fabulous, and she's cold, and she's confrontational, and she was very tall, especially for her time. She was 5'9", and the average man in that time was 5'6". So she's very commandeering, extremely charismatic, and calculated. So she's the perfect woman for the job. I'm terrified of her and I love her, but also I'm trying not. This this story is complicated to me because they were violent criminals.
Right. They're the bad guys.
They're the bad guys. But I also kind of like the women empowerment.
Yeah, me too. And it's not like they had really any other options.
That's
besides
true.
Give up all of their autonomy
They
or
weren't
die in poverty.
Yeah. Yes. And they, what was I going to say? I don't remember. Yeah, they weren't going around like killing people. They were mostly focused on robberies.
Okay. I'll give them a pass.
I say, yeah, stick it to the man.
Right.
We don't need more capitalism.
Robin Hood.
Robin Hood, yes. So the gang was organized in this hierarchical structure. That sounded right. Hierarchical structure with queens leading different factions and princesses serving as trusted lieutenants. The 40 Elephants were not your average gang. They were highly skilled and super coordinated. It's what happens when women run things. They specialized in shoplifting, pickpocketing, and elaborate heist. Alice Diamond organized the women into pods so that they could conduct various robberies throughout the city of London at the same time, dividing attention from law enforcement. And she set it up so that everyone had a buddy while doing the crime. Like, no one went in alone.
Crime buddy. Partners in crime.
And you have to get, like, instead of the lockets that, like, completes, like, each half a heart, it's, like... Handcuffs. Yeah. And they never come together because you don't get caught. That's perfect. What would ours be?
We could have... one of us could have a microphone on our necklace and the other one could have one of those foam things that covers the microphone and then we can connect them.
Oh my
like
God.
Avatar tails.
Oh, that's so cute. And then when it connects, it should light up or something.
Yeah.
Or
Or sing a song.
Gosh, it should sing a song and give like a little poof of like pretend arsenic. Because we talk about arsenic so much.
That's true, but it smells good.
Yeah, perfume Chanel
Like-
number 5.
Yeah. Or like almonds, because that's what arsenic smells like, right?
I have.
Yeah.
To be honest, can I be honest here?
You can be honest.
I've never smelled arsenic.
Okay. Well, if
It's
we
so
talk about it
crazy.
as much as we say,
We should know.
we should. Well, I know it does smell like almonds.
You've smelled arsenic?
No, I've heard it smells like almonds.
That was such a dumb question I just asked. One man's almond is another man's walnut, maybe.
What?
You know?
Okay.
I'm just saying,
Sure.
like, some things smell different to other people.
Okay.
I need to smell it for myself.
Yeah, me too.
Get me the
I need
arsenic.
to know what the hype is about.
I do too. Why is everyone so into arsenic? What's the secret? All right, so they have buddies that would go in and do the heist, and then they also had buddies that would stand and wait outside, and then they also had like securities around in case law enforcement did try and chase the women. They would recruit guys from the guy gang to like kind of like protect them if they needed.
Okay.
Yeah, so they're doing the work, but also they're not gonna be pressed about fighting police officers. They're
not going to do the heavy lifting.
But I will say Alice was not afraid to do the heavy lifting.
Okay.
She was first arrested at 17 years old, and it took 3 police officers to keep her down. She was wild. So enough about the buddies. A slew of lawyers also were like on their side and stood by at the ready to defend them. And they had a community kind of like pot of money that helped the women pay any legal fees as they needed. We should start that. Where's our community bank?
For what?
Our night classy.
Our Night Classy community bank is called Night Classy Patreon.
Yeah, that's so true. What is something that we could buy collectively that would benefit us?
Just us two.
No, all 3 of us. Maybe like, what if we got a pool? Hot tub.
A hot tub would
Hot
be nice.
tub.
Yeah, let's get a hot tub.
Hot tub. Okay, so
Donate to us on Patreon to fund our hot tub.
different than paying legal fees, but I think hot tub is a worthy effort.
So far, knock on wood, there's been no legal fees.
Oh
we have to
gosh,
pay.
I haven't even thought about that. I've never even thought like I'll need to pay legal fees, which is very, very privileged of me.
Yes.
And hopefully I don't have to. I still need to pay my court fees from when I got the ticket. But it's not showing up online.
If it's
So I
not
think
showing
it's
up
fine.
online, don't pay it. That's what I did.
It's fine. Not online. It's fine. Okay, but anyway, these women were slick. They got away more often than not and developed a wide network of receivers that were retained on commission to move their stolen goods. Their notoriety and success drew comparisons to infamous male counterparts like the Italian mafia. And lucky for the men of Elephants and Castle, they would, like I said, occasionally hire them for protection and share some of their profits with the men. The gang's strength laid in their unwavering loyalty and camaraderie amongst its members who really protected each other like family. Alice Diamond created and enforced what was called the Hoisters Code for the women of the 40 Elephants. This code of conduct created clear expectations for the gang members and included, quote, an equal division of money from heist jobs, an expectation for the gang to care for the family members of an imprisoned thief, and for the women to always provide alibis for each other. No matter what my alibi is. Oh, we're recording. Oh, I can't do that. That's why
I'm busy.
that happened tonight. I was asked to sub for trivia, and it was like, oops,
Sorry.
can't do it. You also couldn't drink the night before a big job or work with the police. That was strictly listed. It should be obvious, but
that's a no-brainer.
it had to be written out. You know,
You
that
got to
way
be
can
explicit, in your expectations.
Point to the rules. An oath of absolute loyalty was codified, and if broken, was punishable by ridicule or beating, which seems pretty mild in terms of gangs. It's like beating, wink, wink, like an asterisk.
Ridicule.
To death.
Oh.
We will call you names.
Yeah. You will be publicly shamed. We will subtweet you.
We will write you spooky letters in all caps. Don't make us do it. Other rules outside of the Hoisters Code were also enforced to ensure a smooth operation, including one where the gang members couldn't steal one another's money or their boyfriends.
Well,
You know how women are.
that shouldn't have to be in it.
That was in it. The Hoisters Code was effective, and 40 Elephants members also enjoyed protections and progressive benefits for all. It was compared to like joining a union. So pretty neat.
Yeah.
Not only were these women often lavishly dressed on a regular day, they also designed special outfits to wear while robbing places. There were little secret pockets sewn into all of their layers like you would expect. But I was really surprised when I saw a gadget, if you will. I have a picture of it. They created extra appendages for themselves.
Oh, yeah. It's like a fake arm.
Yes.
So you can distract someone with your fake arm. They think it's your real arm, and then you use your real arm to steal.
Yeah.
Okay.
Or hopefully not even distract them. You're trying to not draw any attention.
Right. Like they see your
slightly.
hand.
I'm just feeling the fabric of this Hermes scarf. I'm not. This is totally my real hand. And then their actual hand would be inside of the coat, taking the material, whatever they wanted to steal.
Okay.
What is something that you would steal?
Ooh, that I would steal.
Because, I mean, if I could get away with it, I would steal everything.
Yeah.
But like small little things, I think I would steal deodorant
Okay.
and toothpaste.
I would definitely just like go into like Target and steal makeup, which I feel like that's what everyone steals like in real life.
Nail polish, for sure.
I've never been a shoplifting girly. Like I know a lot of people go through that phase. That's never been me. So I think realistically, if I were to steal, it would just be like makeup from Target.
Yeah, I have benefited from shoplifting girlies. I'm way too scared.
Yeah.
My roommate in college, my freshman year roommate, she shoplifted a lot.
Some girls just love it. Like why was it such a thing? I think known
it's the
so many-
rush.
Yeah.
Right?
It's just a thing.
But that's something that can escalate so much that it's you like the feeling of it and you keep doing it. Or if you do get caught and they want to like bring you to the law, your shit can get fucked.
It can get fucked because of what a lot of places do, like Target does this, is that they don't stop you. They let you keep stealing and gather evidence until you've stolen like $5,000 or more, and then they send you to jail.
Yup.
Yeah.
Yup. They let you have fun, so that
right.
What that tells me is that you could do it a couple of times. They're not going to send you to jail for like twice,
No, you can definitely, and that's why people do it, because you get away with it every time. Like nobody gets busted for slipping a mascara in their purse.
I'm way too scared. I get it. Kudos to you if you can stomach it.
I can't do the confrontation. Like just knowing that a security person is watching me on like the camera is enough to stop me. I don't want anyone to think that of me.
One thing I've started doing since like getting into true crime is every time I'm at a self-checkout, I take a moment to look up at the camera and have my full face be shown. I'm like, I want my tracks. I have nothing to hide. B, if I disappear, I want you all to know for sure this was me at Target at 3:47 p.m. on Tuesday.
That's a good point.
I'm always looking to the cameras.
I always have like a point of pride when I do the self-checkout and then they ask to see my receipt and I can like hand it over and boom, it's all on there.
Bitch.
I don't steal.
Yeah, I don't steal. Now, Costco is a different story. I feel like they're kind of judgy at Costco.
Like in what way?
Like you have to give them the receipt every time and they mark it for you. The first time we went to Costco, got followed around by like a like secret shopper type thing, like a plain clothes worker of Costco because we didn't grab a cart. What? And they thought that we were going to like just go in and steal stuff. Because like everyone goes there to get bulk things. Yeah. No one doesn't grab a cart. But we weren't there to buy anything. We were like, oh, we have a Costco membership that was gifted to us.
Let's just walk around.
Let's just see what it's like. Let's feel out the vibes. Let's be like, pretend like we're adults.
Did they say we're tailing you?
No, but they followed us around the entire store until
really
we left.
Bad at their job. You should write a review.
Well, I didn't notice. Tommy noticed. My head was in the clouds. I was looking at the diamond rings and the rugs and
he just whispers to you. He's like, "We've got a tail.
We're being followed. Turn right. Let's lose him." Okay. Well, anyway, I could not be these women. I cannot stomach even the idea of stealing something. But hey, you got to do what you got to do. Kudos to you if you can get away with it. So they have their fake arms. They would collect gems, jewelry, furs, and fashion items undetected. And not to belittle their creativity, but societal norms also made their jobs a lot easier because female customers were supposed to be given like a ton of privacy when trying things on. So it was almost like they were almost ignored by shopkeepers when trying things on, and they could easily just walk out of the store undetected. So that kind of went in their favor, but they never wore their stolen goods. They always sold them and then purchased even more expensive things with their money. Yeah, super smart. Let the women do the work. In addition to shoplifting, 40 Elephants would also blackmail influential men after seducing them into an affair. And they would also do things like con their way into jobs as housemaids with false references, only to loot their workplaces later on. Their territories were staunchly guarded. Anytime another gang would steal from quote unquote, like one of their shops, 40 Elephants would go and retrieve their share of the earnings. And if the other gangs refused, women were known to beat and sometimes kidnap people until they achieved the desired results.
Oh my God.
Yeah. So actually, I take it back. I guess they did. They were willing to get violent.
Yeah.
But only if you disrespected them.
Just don't disrespect them. Just give them what they want.
Give them what they want. Fine. Join the gang. and be a thief.
Have you seen that? It was on TikTok, but it's footage of this guy going into, I think it was like a gas station or a nail salon or something, and he comes in with like his hand in a bag like he has a gun, and he tries to do a stick up, and they all just ignore him, and he has to leave.
I can't imagine being that chill.
I can't imagine being the guy who tried to rob them. That's so embarrassing.
So, like, he's going to be...
Like, I'd rather go to jail.
He needs therapy.
Yeah.
Yeah, after that, that's something that... And you can't even really talk about it to other people. Because you tried to rob a store at gunpoint. Also, a nail salon... Do they have that much money on hand? Like,
I don't
do
know,
they
maybe
have
cash
it like that?
tips. I don't know.
Perhaps.
Yeah.
I don't even know where I would go for cash.
Someone tried to steal the tip jar at a coffee shop I worked at once, and the woman who was working, she chased him down and grabbed it back and then ran back in the store.
That is unbelievable.
I know.
I would never.
No, me either. I'd be like,
"Oh,
have fun with that $30.
we have to get a new jar."
Yeah.
I'd be excited to go pick out a new jar.
Yeah. She got it back.
She has some spice in her veins.
Yeah, I think she felt disrespected because and that's what motivated her, because there's no way whatever was in that jar, like, felt worth it. No.
Yeah, she had something go on that day that she was already almost to a boiling point.
Yeah, this
and
was
then
the
that
last
just
straw.
pushed her over the edge for sure. But that video is insane. If I was somewhere like some of my family members think that I should get a gun for protection in this time, and to me personally, it doesn't make sense to get. It's like fighting fire with fire.
Yeah, and also,
I'm
like, what am I going to do with a gun?
Nothing. I'm literally gonna pass out, pee my pants, and probably have a seizure.
Yeah.
Like, that's what I do. Literally. I'm not gonna be fighting anyone.
No.
There's gonna be no confrontation.
Someone just has to look at me wrong. Like, I surrender. I'm not fighting back with a gun.
You can't even feel someone looking at you through a screen. Like, we're not those people.
No.
We're
not gun people.
Never. Okay, I'm sorry. My cough is still lingering, but it's mostly gone. So, back to the 40 elephants. They had legends about them, and it expanded beyond word of mouth, and the media portrayed the all-female gang as just like gaudy party girls. They did not think that they were violent or a real threat to society at all. And due to this dainty portrayal, 40 Elephant's enemies also tended to underestimate them, which was totally fine with them. It made their jobs a lot easier. They were super elusive to law enforcement agents for decades, and they were really quick to adopt cars when they first came out. They're like, heck yeah, this is awesome. And they were always making their getaways in, quote, the most glamorous models.
Can you imagine making a getaway in like one of those early cars? Like, it probably takes 10 minutes to start one of those.
And then it's just backfiring the whole way. You have to
it goes like
abandon it.
20 miles an hour.
I think a horse would be better.
Probably. But then you have to like ride it. And if you have a lot of people, I don't know.
Yeah, if everyone has a buddy, how many, like, you can't just
horses?
ride up with 6 horses.
And then you just like, someone has to wait outside holding the horses. That's a problem.
Someone has to hold your horses.
Yeah.
There's a right way to do it. And apparently it was with the most glamorous automobiles available. In their meticulous planning, the robbers would often hand off stolen goods to an outside buddy pair before then leading the police on a car chase, only for the police to find them empty-handed. And the handoff was successful, so the people are wherever with the actual stolen goods. Cars also allowed the women to expand their operations to surrounding towns, as Alice Diamond quickly became recognizable along with other major 40 Elephants members. So they couldn't do all of the dirty work right there in London anymore. 40 elephants did reach this peak starting in the 1920s. They had at least 70 documented and confirmed members. And it was nice for the men in their life or their partners because they didn't have to work. The 40 elephants women were making so much money. Their partners could just stay at home. They got to be the breadwinners.
Dream life.
Which is huge for the time.
Yeah.
Really wonderful. And during the Roaring Twenties, a lot of the gang members also became flappers. The press
I thought you were talking about their boyfriends. Like, wow. They really embraced this role reversal.
Super progressive. The press named the young socialites and aristocrats bright young things, and the 40 elephants wanted in. Previously dedicated to stealth, 40 elephants members started throwing these decadent parties and would often throw money around in nightclubs and restaurants and were just really showy about it. But their success continued despite their raised profile. As we know, every empire has its peak and its fall. A culmination of events led to the eventual decline of the 40 elephants. I think that at the basis of it all, it was interpersonal conflict and power struggles amongst members that really rocked the solid foundation that they once had. And some gang members became snitches in exchange for leniency and rewards.
That's when it breaks down, when people start snitching.
Yes.
Did the Sopranos teach them nothing?
Never be a snitch. It is where it breaks down. You're so right. There was a crack in their foundation.
Yeah.
And it just kept rumbling and tumbling. Because it's like once you have one snitch, you're not going to not have more. You can't just stomp out a snitch situation.
One rat breeds more rats.
Rat's going to rat.
Rat's going to rat. They can have like a litter a month. Maybe more. I don't know how fast rats can breed.
I don't know how
but I know
rats
they
work.
make a lot of babies.
They're elusive, just like these members. Rats are a mystery, a beautiful mystery, but you don't want them in your organization.
No.
You want them as pets.
Pet rats only. Wild rats can go to hell.
PetRatsOnly.com. So we had rats and 40 elephants. More and more members were being jailed as a result of increased police investigation and security. They started actually taking this all-female gang seriously.
Like 40 years after it started.
So many years after it started. If it goes back to the 1700s.
It goes back to the 1700s?
Yes.
Are you serious?
I'm serious. The first documented case we
you
have of
did
this
say
gang
that.
is 1873. But police records go back to like the 1700s. So it wasn't until like the late 1930s that things started to really get cracked down. That's over 100 years. I'm not going to do the math. But so it was a long time. They did start taking them seriously, though. And to put the nail in the coffin, if you will, power struggles even made their way up to their fearless leader, Alice Diamond. She started to become fixated on controlling the gang and upholding their code, which amongst the rules also forbade members from doing anything that Alice didn't approve of. Just a really wide-reaching rule, which also limited who you married. If she didn't like the guy, then you should not get married to them. However, one member did just that in 1925, and it resulted in an attack of the newlyweds that Alice led.
She had them whacked.
She had them whacked. It escalated so much so that this attack now has its own name as it evolved into the Lambeth Riot.
Oh, no.
Yes, I have a newspaper clipping of this time. It was wild. People were injured for sure. I can't believe at the beginning of this episode I said they weren't violent criminals. I don't know why. Why did I say that? I just like them, you know?
Yeah, it's hard to see the violence.
I see their best side.
Yeah, the
Yeah.
rose-colored glasses.
Definitely rose-colored glasses. I'm like, oh, they're all females? They must be good.
They're perfect.
They're perfect in every way. So this was really bad. Alice was arrested and sentenced to 18 months in prison. During that time, a new queen took her place while she served her time. And once she got out, Alice started a new career managing a brothel, which I think is pretty fitting.
Yeah,
for
the
her.
crime to crime pipeline.
Is real. Yeah, it's stagnant. But she still acted as a, quote, godmother figure to the new generation and was always willing to pass on tips for shoplifters.
How kind.
That's the cool aunt right there. That is the aunt that I want getting drunk at my graduation and giving me the sex talk or something. I don't know.
Well,
Here's how
at
you
your
use a-
graduation, that's when you're going to get the sex talk.
At my middle school graduation.
Okay.
Listen, my timeline is different than your timeline.
How dare you?
Maybe she just thinks she's so drunk that she doesn't know what I'm graduating from.
Yeah, she forgot.
She sees me with rose-colored glasses. She's
Yeah,
like,
you're a baby.
You're a baby. You're so young. You were born today. You're graduating from the womb. Anyway, Alice died at 55 years old from multiple sclerosis in 1952. Her successor was Lillian Rose Kendall, also known as the bobbed-haired bandit. She was, quote, a smash and grab expert who also excelled in getaway driving and often used her car to smash through jewelers' windows.
Wow.
So she's not sly. She's very out with it. 40 Elephants was active through the 1950s, but gang activity slowed as fashion started to evolve at an accelerated rate and security increased. So they weren't able to turn clothes as fast as they once were able to. But membership did wane over the decades, and 40 Elephants became more and more of a legend than an active gang until it came to an official end in 1992.
Wow.
With the death of their final queen, Shirley Pitts.
Not as good of a name as the other queens.
No.
Shirley Pitts is a bad name.
Yeah. I wonder what her middle name is.
Shirley Armpit.
Shirley Armpit. Shirley Stinky Pits. Who knows why she didn't choose a different name? I feel like that should be your initiation when you become a queen. It's like,
Right.
okay, now do better.
Everyone in a gang has a cool name, right? Isn't that a requirement?
Christopher.
Christopher.
Of course it's a requirement.
Shirley Christopher Pitts.
Pitts, you just gotta get rid of it. You gotta
Pits.
drop the Pitts. It's the Pitts. Yeah, you gotta have good luck and drop that shit. No offense to anyone with the last name Pitts, but that is the tale of the real all-female gang, the 40 Elephants.
I loved it.
Thank you. I'm glad that you did.
I'm going to now go to sleep because I'm so tired.
Goodbye.
Bye.
Love you. That's all.
That's all, folks.
We don't know what else to say.
Oh, I forgot. 3, 2, 1. Class dismissed.
We're out of practice.
Jeez.